My brother Jake flashed his trademark grin. Mom's eyes dropped to her napkin. I raised my glass, smiled sweetly, and said, "Funny you mention space. I just signed a lease 2,800 miles away in Portland." The laughter died instantly. Silverware froze. They thought that was my big rebellion. They had no clue the real reckoning was already in motion, one that would drag every buried truth into the open. Our house in Cincinnati sat on a quiet cul-de-sac where neighbors mowed perfect stripes and waved like clockwork. From the street, we were the ideal American family. Inside, love was rationed, and every ounce went to Jake. His lacrosse medals gleamed on the mantel. My art portfolios and coding awards vanished into closet corners. Dad would roar approval after Jake's games, voice booming through the house. When I won national science fairs, he'd pat my shoulder and say, "That's great, Harper. Just don't make Jake feel he's not enough." Mom never fought back. She perfected the art of disappearing, folding laundry, wiping counters that were already clean, whispering, "Let it go, baby. It's easier." Her silence carved deeper than any shout. My escape was the attic. Dim, dusty mine. I built circuits, sketched designs, taught myself software no one at school even knew existed. Machines never compared me to anyone. They simply worked or didn't. Grandma Rose was the exception. She'd arrive with coffee, cake, and endless patience, leaning over my cluttered desk to study whatever gadget I was resurrecting. "You think in ways most people never will, Harper," she'd say. "Guard that. Never shrink it to fit someone else's comfort." By 19, I'd become a ghost in my own home. Helpful, quiet, invisible. When MIT accepted me with a full scholarship, Dad barely glanced up from his phone. "Portland's a long way," he said. "You'll figure it out." I did. Double shifts at a diner, every spare dollar saved. One duffel bag on a red-eye flight west. I waited for regret to hit them. It never did. That Thanksgiving toast sealed it. After my calm reply, the room turned to ice. Jake's grin faltered. Mom's lips trembled. Dad's knuckles whitened around his glass, not from guilt, but from the shock of defiance. I laid my napkin down, stood, and walked out. No slammed doors. No tears. Just the soft click of the front door behind me. In the freezing night air, something unlocked inside my chest. Leaving wasn't surrender. It was the first line of a new contract. Next morning, I met Grandma Rose at her favorite corner bakery. She took one look at me and squeezed my hand. "Your light's still on, kid. That's what matters." We talked about my job at a rising tech startup, my tiny apartment overlooking the Willamette, the friends who actually asked how I was and waited for the answer. Only then did she ask about dinner. When I repeated Dad's words, her eyes flashed. "He's been blind a long time. Doesn't mean you have to stay in the dark." At her house later, I spotted overdue bills stacked neatly on her counter. Nothing dramatic, just the slow erosion of independence Dad had engineered to help. I felt a fierce protectiveness rise. She wouldn't fade quietly the way I once had. Back in Portland, I poured myself into work and life. Late nights turned into breakthroughs. Quiet competence earned trust. I hosted a December potluck at my wide pine table. No head seat. Every chair the same. Friends brought dishes, stories, laughter that filled the room without hierarchy. Someone snapped photos. Candlelight, full plates, me relaxed in the center. They spread farther than I imagined. 4 days later, my phone rang. Dad didn't bother with hello. "Those pictures are everywhere. Relatives posting about your new family. Do you know what people are saying about us?" Always about image. Never about me. Grandma Rose took the phone. "It's time to stop managing how things look and start seeing how they are." Dad demanded I fly home for New Year's to fix the optics. I gave him terms. "Only if we sit as equals. Same table. Same level." They showed up on my doorstep 2 days later. Mom hovered uncertainly. Dad's eyes swept my apartment like he was hunting flaws. We sat at the pine table, 3 identical chairs under warm light. Words came slow at first, then honest. I spoke of years spent shrinking, of building alone because no one noticed I was gone. Dad shifted, uncomfortable. Finally, he muttered, I thought tough love made winners. I got it wrong with you. Mom cried quietly. We're sorry, hung in the air, fragile but real. It wasn't absolution. It was an opening. When they left, the quiet in my apartment felt different. Earned, not empty. Grandma called the next day. He didn't argue. He listened. That's new. New Year's morning broke gray and rainy over Portland, but inside, everything felt clear. That table wasn't just wood and nails anymore. It was evidence. I could create space where I belonged fully, unapologetically. Some children spend their lives chasing approval. Others learn to build their own light and decide who gets to stand in it. If you've ever carved out your own place after being told you didn't belong, drop your story below. Like and subscribe. More chapters of quiet victories are coming.